Hello, BookTube. I have another mail haul for you. I think this is mail haul number 19 or 20 of just 1 month, just the month of January. And I was talking about this. I brought it up with my muscular teenagers the other day when I was loading them with books from a post office box that I haven't used in forever that still gets books. And I brought it up and I said, surely they must be getting tired of all of these mail hauls. 20 in 1 month? When a normal booktube channel has maybe one in a month, if that, uh, or in rare instances maybe one a week. Um, and one of my boys said, "Dude, your lame ass booktube friends are some majorly bossy chicks. If they didn't like it, they'd tell you." And I went, and I thought, oh, it's kind of true. So I guess we'll just keep doing it. And before we get to the packages, today's mail also contained uh, just a source of joy for me. The mail itself contained two of the greatest literary reviews that are currently being published in the English language: the TLS, the Times Literary Supplement, and the London Review of Books. Now, when this guarantees me an hour of blissfully contented reading and feverish annotating. When you're me and you get one of these things in the mail, there's a you do a few things. The reading is the last thing you do. The first thing you do is rifle through. I rifle through it for two things. First, to see, actually three things. First, to see if any book that this current issue is reviewing is a book that I myself have reviewed. That's always a queasy and exciting feeling when somebody else has a go in print at a book that you've already reviewed in print yourself. You want to know, there's that butterfly in the stomach feeling of, did you miss something? Are they going to do a noticeably better job? They're going to correct something, that a mistake that you didn't correct. I don't so much worry about the second one, because most of my book reviewing colleagues are more talented than myself in terms of beauty of language or depth of insight or anything like that. But you always worry and wonder. It's always curious to see. So, for instance, in the TLS, we've got. The second thing you do is you look for names, reviewers that you really like, maybe a reviewer that you really know, that sort of thing. And the third thing, if you're me, that you do is look for blurbs. You look for in the paid house ads for publishers. You look for a blurb on a book from a review that you wrote, and I am expecting more of those than I'm seeing. Open Letters does fairly well for blurbs. And the Washington Post blurbs don't really count because they're very seldom named. I'm not a regular enough contributor to the Post for my name to be on the blurb. And an unnamed blurb is a trained rhesus monkey could get an unnamed blurb. And nobody cares about the National in Abu Dhabi or knows about it. But it was just a little bit of it a year ago that I started reviewing books every week for the Christian Science Monitor. Now, that's a name that publishers know. And those books are going to start to be coming out in paperback. And my editor at the Monitor and she has a philosophy with her book page, and I agree with it completely. Every editor is different, so I can roll with any kind of policy. Hers is, I'd rather find books to praise that you can honestly praise than find a middling book that you're going to tear apart. Why waste the reader's time with something that you're ultimately going to tell them not to read? When space is so limited. I agree with that. If you're not a paper of record, then, or for instance, Open Letters, where I don't have to worry about space or anything like that, where at Open Letters I can call a book bad, because my own philosophy is that it's just as important to call bad books out as it is to praise good ones, because all books are looking to waste your money. They all want you to buy them. And if you don't have a critic who has said, well, I don't want you mistaking my silence, this book is bad, then you might buy the wrong thing. You might get disappointed. But anyway, so those are the three things. I look for books that I have reviewed. I look for reviewers that I really like. And I look for blurbs of my own. So what we got in the TLS, we have, there's an American fiction section, a block up front where they're doing the new Paul Auster, they're doing Moonglow by Michael Chabon, they're doing the new Jonathan Latham, the Knicks by Nathan Hill, can't wait. And Homegoing. So that's a block of books that have gotten a lot of play in a lot of places. That's interesting. But I don't know any of the reviewers well enough to care one way or another. Pankaj Mishra is in here, but he's not reviewing a book. He's doing an editorial, but he's great. So that's great. Adam Mars Jones, a wonderful reviewer. In this issue of the TLS, he's reviewing the movie Jackie and the movie Manchester by the Sea. So no book review. And Michael Keynes is doing Stuart Lee's Content Provider, which is a show that I wish I could see. That'll be interesting. Let's see here. Anybody else? Is there any book that I myself have reviewed? Believe it or not, I'm not seeing anything. I had a couple of people ask me to review Jackie myself. I thought about it. Went back and forth on it a lot, and then just decided not to do it. I always feel a little iffy branching out into reviews of things that aren't books. I don't know why that is. I just do. There's a lot on India. Oh, fantastic. Great. Oh, and in the classic section, Mary Beard. A lot of you will know her name. She does a review of a book. Christine Toomey. She's really good. I've really liked her. She does a review of an anthology of travel writing about Nepal. Boy, though, incredible. It seems like there's nothing in here on any book that I myself have reviewed. That's interesting. Oh, all right. Well, almost. I promise this will be a long video anyway. They do an archive thing. Every issue of the TLS, they show you something from their archive, something old. And in this case, they pulled one from 1960. A review of Daphne du Maurier's biography of Branwell Bronte, which we mentioned on this channel before. And I don't know that review, I don't think. That's great. All right, so that's the TLS. And okay, let's do just a quick run through of the paid ads. The TLS is usually very seldom. Wow, lots and lots of American fiction. That's great. That's wonderful. No. Okay. All right. And then we move on to the London Review of Books. And what do we got here? A typically boring cover of theirs. That's Margaret Pole. What's she doing? Okay. The London Review of Books has a review of a book by Susan Higginbottom called Margaret Pole, The Countess in the Tower. The review is written by Hilary Mantel, and I don't have the book. Amberley Publishing did a biography of Margaret Pole, the Countess of Salisbury, and I don't have it. That's bad. She was a fascinating woman, powerful, wealthy, a Plantagenet, royal blood in her veins, and she was tough and uncompromising and unafraid, and she's gone into history for a horrifying reason. Her life is fascinating. I don't know this book. I'm going to have to see if Amberley will send me one across the pond. But she's most famous for the worst thing in the world you want to be famous for, her execution in 1541. Henry VIII, by this point, he was deeply paranoid, and he was surrounded by paranoid advisors, and he didn't like the fact there was royal blood in her veins, so he had her executed on trumped-up charges. And that's not the bad part. That's bad enough. The bad part is that it was a bad execution. And we don't know for sure, after this much time, if it was bad on purpose as a warning to the crowd, or if it was bad just by accident. But one way or another, she was hacked to pieces on the scaffold. It wasn't just that the executioner failed to take her head off in one blow. It's that he failed to hit her head at all. He hit her chest, her back. He cut off parts of her hand. Shaved off a chunk of her head. Her awake the whole time, running around the scaffold to get away from him. This 60-something-year-old woman, butchered in front of the crowd. And as bloodthirsty as Tudor crowds were for executions, they were stilled to complete silence by the spectacle. So, so I want to read the book. That's definitely. But who else have we got here? So Hilary Mantel, that of course will lead the whole thing. And then, so Isabel Hobble does a review of Lusitania, by Willi Jasper, which is a new translation into English of the book about the Lusitania. Adam Mars Jones is in this thing as well. Boy, he gets the kind of job I would like. He's in the TLS and the London Review in the same week. That's awesome. Well, good for him. And he does 2 books by Joy Williams that I don't know at all. And aside from that, nothing. Look at that. Born to Run, Springfield, The Spring Seed. Wow. So again, no books that I myself have reviewed except for the Lusitania book. And then the paid ads, I usually do much better in the American press, the New York Review of Books in particular, than anything in England. No. All right. Well, but it doesn't matter because I'm fired up in one way anyway. I want that Margaret Cole book. So, all right. So now on to the mail. Let's see. We have no boxes this time around, but we'll see. We'll see what we have that might be of interest. Oh, what is this? Goodness gracious! Oh, packets. Well, this is Edgeland. Homage or not to Flatland? I don't know. Let's see. Investigative journalist Jake Halpern and former U.S. diplomat Peter Kujawinski made major waves with Nightfall, their New York Times best-selling thriller set in a world where 14 years of day is followed by 14 years of night. I don't remember that book. Sounds fascinating. Let's see if this publicist can get me a copy. Now, their imaginative storytellers and masters of suspense take readers to the ends of the earth in their new book, Edgeland. As with Nightfall, which is largely informed by Kujawinski's time as U.S. Consul General in the Northwestern Territories in Canada, the setting in this gripping new thriller was inspired by the author's duo's travels abroad, specifically by cities that are destinations for religious pilgrimages. Interesting. Okay, so Edgeland. Science fiction by 2 non-science fiction writers. This comes out in May. I want to read Nightfall. Oh, this is a... All right, what do we got here? This is from Harvard University Press. And it comes out in April. This is Man's Better Angels by Philip Gura. Romantic Reformers and the Coming of the Civil War. The scale and financial disaster caused by the Panic of 1837 was vast, affecting every sector of society and every region of the country. Deb and I lost everything. Daniel Webster painted a grim scene. This book explores the ideas and presumptions that influenced reform efforts in the United States from the Panic of 1837 to John Brown's raid in 1859. Interesting. Okay, so more social and economic and take on the causes of the Civil War. I'll read that for sure. Let's got here. More Civil War. Very nice. This is Wrestling with His Angel. This is Sidney Blumenthal's the next volume in his big multi-volume Life of Abraham Lincoln. Wow. Okay. Great. I read and reviewed his first one. And here we are again. So this is just going to keep barreling on until it's done. I wonder if he's just planning on making it or hoping that it will be the definitive multi-volume Lincoln biography of the 21st century. He could be going for that. He could very well be doing that. Okay, well, this is the first volume was blurbed everywhere. I don't know if my blurb will be on here, but that's all right. This comes out. When does this come out? In May. Okay. That was kind of at the top of the list. So let's see what else we have here. Oh my God. Okay. This comes out in late February. This is by John Roadhamel, and this is George Washington, The Wonder of the Age. There he is right there. And I will be reviewing it for Open Letters Monthly. If I were you, I would save a front seat and get your popcorn ready. The Wonder of the Age. Well, all right. let's move on. I am not a Washington fan. As much as I hate the man, I hate the hagiography even more. So I will definitely be taking a shot at the wonder of the age. Next one is Escape Velocity by Bonnie Arning. It is a slim volume of poetry. So well outside of Steve's wheelhouse, as it were. And this thing is even smaller. So this might be yet another slim volume of poetry. I wish I could turn the camera on and show you the beautiful sunset. There's just a beautiful sunset happening outside the window. All sorts of meteorologically active stuff going on in the sunset that probably behooves weather tomorrow. We shall see. Oh no! Oh, look at this. This isn't the slim volume poetry at all. It's lovely. This is The Ice Virgin by Hans Christian Andersen. In a standalone translation, it looks like. How interesting. The first standalone English translation of this uniquely original and powerful masterpiece. The relationship between a daring young hunter from the remote Bernese Oberland and a prosperous miller's daughter living in the comfortable French-speaking Swiss canton plays out a complex of themes such as the instinctive life versus rational civilization and the role of early experience in shaping personal destiny. Splendid new translation from the Danish. Wow. He has won lasting fame and popularity, Hans Christian Andersen, for his fairy tales, but he also wrote adult novels. I don't think I ever knew that. Certainly never read one. Wow, fantastic. Okay. Okay, so this comes out in June. A novel by Hans Christian Andersen. Okay. All right, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I love my job. All right, let's see what we have here. This is by Andrea Camilleri. This is The Revolution of the Moon from Europa Press. Sorry about this lack of anything on here. It's just an advance copy. It comes out in April. And it is what? What is it? From the author of the Inspector Montalban series. Okay, I know that. Comes the remarkable account of an exceptional woman who rises to power in 17th century Sicily. Is it Deb? And brings about sweeping changes that threaten the iron-fisted patriarchy. Oh, no, not Deb. Before being cast out in a coup after only 27 days. So it's Sicily in 1677. From his deathbed, Charles III's viceroy, Agnello de Guzman y Carafa, Marquis of Castile Rodrigo, names his wife, Donna Eleonora, as his successor. Eleonora de Mora is a highly intelligent and capable woman who immediately applies her political acumen to heal the scarred soul of Palermo, a city afflicted by poverty, misery, and the frequent uprisings they entail. Based on a true story. Oh, so this is I don't know that story at all, but that's interesting. All right, so this is a historical novel. Okay. All right, we're making good progress here. We'll move on. What is this next one? Half the video was me nattering about literary reviews. I don't know how you people put up with me. All right, so this next one is the University of Chicago Press. Okay. This is Wittgenstein and Modernism. Probably not a giant killer shark anywhere in this thing. Oh my. Wittgenstein and Modernism. Oh. All right. This is due in mid-February. Okay. Why don't we move on to the next one? What have we got here? Oh, it's 2 books. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. So the first one is The Israeli Republic by Jalal al-Ahmad, an Iranian revolutionary's journey to the Jewish state. By Restless Books. Written by a preeminent Iranian writer who helped lay the popular groundwork for the Iranian Revolution, The Israeli Republic should be required reading for anyone interested in the history and current political landscape of the Middle East. Documenting Jalal al-Ahmad's 2-week-long trip to Israel in February of 1963, His account, Journey to the Land of Israel, caused a firestorm when it was published in Iran. Those of you who are in Iran, do you know this author? I'm probably butchering his name. That is the book. That is the author. I'd love to hear it, especially what his standing is now. I might try to pitch this around. Based on his controversial travel log, supplemented with letters between the author and his wife, and translated to English for the first time, The Israeli Republic is a record of the author's idealism, insight, and ultimate disillusionment toward Israel. Whoa. Okay. That sounds complex. Oh, I'm going to have to write the publicist and thank them for this. Great. Okay, I need to know when it comes out. I'm very happy that you sent it, but I need to know. Okay, it doesn't tell me. I'll have to look it up and see. All right, and then the next one, also from these same people, is History of a Disappearance, the story of a forgotten Polish town. Lying at the crucible of Central Europe, the Silesian town of Kupferberg suffered the violence of the 30 Years' War, the Napoleonic Wars, and World War I. After Stalin's post-World War II redrawing of Poland's borders, Kupferberg became Medzanka, a town settled by displaced persons from all over Poland and a new center of the Eastern Bloc's uranium mining industry. Oh, wait. I know that town. Okay. Oh, and I've heard... Okay, all right. This is a book about that. Okay, and the author of this book was born in 1982. Good Lord. And this is translated from the Polish. Okay, great. This comes out in April. Oh, these are very interesting books from Restless Books. Very nice. And then we've reached the end. This is the last one. Oh, I didn't even need to do that. The package is open. It did manage to reach me though. Oh, great. Okay. This is Climate Change and the Health of Nations: Famines, Fevers, and the Fate of Populations by Anthony J. McMichael. Climate Change and the Health of Nations. This is from Oxford University Press. Comes out in February? Yes, February. Natural climate change has played upon the health and fates of populations throughout time. As we face a global increase in temperature and other dramatic changes caused by human activity, what can we learn about the hazards ahead from these past climate events? I would think not much, right? Since the one that we're experiencing now is unprecedented in its severity and speed. But maybe it's maybe I'm wrong about that. Certainly happy to find out. Okay, so all right, so there we have climate change, ancient and modern, Wittgenstein and modernism. Don't all rush at once. The Israeli Republic by an Iranian author. History of a Disappearance by a Polish author. The Revolution of the Moon by an Italian author. The Ice Virgin by Hans Christian Andersen. A slim volume of poetry. A Saint's Life of George Washington. A gigantic second volume of a multi-volume biography of Abraham Lincoln. The Man's Better Angels, about the romantic foregrounding of the American Civil War. And Edgeland by science fiction writers. And there you go. That is it. That is the day's mail haul. Now, I'm sorry for the length of the video. I'll see you soon in book 2. Thank you.